Hi guys, I don't know if this is working, so I'm gonna wait till there are people here. See, see if anybody joins us. This is for the friends and family. I do not like looking at myself on the camera, and I'm like great big. Of course. Hi, honey. You're downstairs. That's funny. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm just gonna say the reason that we started to do this is we have a big family. My dad's one of 15, my mom's one of 5. And when my grandma passed away in 1986, my second grandma passed away. My first grandma passed away when I was 11. And then my second grandma passed away when I was in 86, 13 or 14. I had 56 cousins on one side, and I don't know exactly how many I have on the other side. And that's first cousins. So I have somewhere close to almost 100 first cousins. It's like 75 to 80, but sometimes we find out we have more. Anyway, we were brought up as a huge family. We're more like siblings than cousins. Big family get-togethers. My mom's been gone now 10 years, but my mom and dad kind of took over family reunions and those kind of things, 4th of July's. It was no big thing to have 300 people at our family reunions, Christmases, those kind of things. The past few years, those families all kind of went off on their own and did their own thing. Hi, Seth. Hi, Robert. Or Jean, sorry. Anyway, so when we lost our big power players that would do the big parties, Christmases, those kind of things, we all kind of separated and did our own Christmases, 4th of July's, whatever. Sometimes we still have those big get-togethers, but hi, Kaylee. Anyway, we would, sorry, I lost my, every time I say hi to somebody, I lose my train of thought. We still kind of get together, but because we don't have that close connection anymore, it seems like we're joining, families that really don't know each other, and it's more of a let's get to know who's who type thing. But now when we see each other, it's usually at a funeral, which we just had this year, this week, and it was a really hard one. Unfortunately, the last 2 funerals that we had a couple years ago was my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, and this one were exactly the same reasons. They both were, this is very hard, but I don't want to bounce around the subject. They took their own lives. And to me, the number one thing that this says is that we are feeling alone. Sorry, this can be hard. We are feeling alone, and we're too big of a family to feel alone. And in our society, we don't talk about this enough. There's not enough help out there. My brother-in-law was actually went and looked for help, and was told to go wait 2 weeks and to come back. So that's something that also sticks with me, is that we do that. So those are really hard things. So the reason that I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives is to join people in, to let you know that there's a face out there, that you're not alone, and to connect. I do Bible studies with some ladies that are awesome. Been doing it about a year. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a theologian. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm none of those things. I truly believe in God. If that steers you away from me, I'm sorry. But I do have a message for you, even if you don't. I wouldn't say a message. I do think that you'll find I don't know what the word is. I think that you'll like the message here anyways, even if that is not your belief system. But I want you to know that even if you're suffering, whatever that you're going through, that you have a friend and you're not alone. So whatever it is that you're going through, even if you want to say, I don't believe in that, your beliefs, Tammy, just know that that part doesn't bother me. Just know that you have a friend with me. So you can reach out to me or any of my friends, or me and my husband, or whatever. So I just want you to know that. Last night in my Bible study, I was really nervous about this, and I shared something with the girls, and one of them told me that in her church, she was learning something in Acts, and it said, if you never open your mouth, then Jesus will never come out. And it kind of like really struck me that was a message for me, because I'm always so nervous. The prayer that I said on Facebook a few weeks ago, sorry, I need a Kleenex. The prayer that I said last week was exactly that. All day that day, I wanted to say it, and I didn't do it all day, and finally I did, and I almost missed it, and it's because of, I'll say, past hurts, of being, I'll just say that I have been accused of attention seeking when my health was going bad, that was in the back of my head all day. And I understand where those were coming from. My mom was really sick with cancer. My health was bad. And I understand where all that was coming from, because at the time I was trying to stay away from my mom so that she wouldn't know that I was sick, because she could look me in the eye and know that something was wrong. So if she asked me, I would have to tell her. So I was trying to stay away from her. So I was trying to save her. But at the same time, it backfired, because then it was, if I was in front of her and I told her, then things just backfired. So it was a really hard situation for everybody in it, and we don't handle things, when you're in bad situations, we don't handle things right. And I can see that with my family right now, with my cousins passing. There's a lot of hurt and a lot of pain, and some of the stuff that's going on is just that. I can see some posts on Facebook with some of my cousins. They're hurting really bad, and some of the pain is coming out in directions that, I just hurt for them so bad, because I've been there and I know, and my sister's been there and she knows, and we just want to let you guys know that you can reach out to us, because we are here and we've been through it, so we love you. A couple of things that I wanted to share is that we have, obviously we have a lot of things going on in our family. We need to keep praying for Joe's family. And one of his sisters, we need to keep praying for her. A lot of you know her health problem, and so we need to keep praying for her. Just please keep her in your prayers. Also, his sister Jane, her son is leaving for deployment this week, so I really would like you guys to all just keep her in her prayers, and maybe reach out to her and tell her that you love her, and because her son's gonna go for deployment, and we need to rally around her, because even that she's hurting with her brother, when our kids leave, it just aches us really hard. So her son's going to be leaving for deployment, so I know that she's on my heart really hard right now. Our cousin Vicki Lynn is at the Mayo Clinic with Preston right now, so we need to keep her in our prayers. And then my sister's son, Austin, he either already moved to New York this week for his next training, or he is moving. I think he did move. My brain is with all the stuff going on in my own life that I can't remember. But yes, Austin is in New York. That's his next training. So keep him in your prayers, and that's going to be exciting for him. So that's going on. So if you haven't heard what's going on in our life, sorry, using a Kleenex, Adam did lose his job. Hi, Jody. His medical release appointment, his MRI, is October 4th. And they called and let him go. So that is happening. And I see you on there, Tim. So, yeah, we're not real sure what's going to happen with all that. Actually, we talked to a realtor today on the house. So, I don't know. We might become over the road truck drivers. We're not real sure. I've always told him I'll go wherever he wants to go. I'll get in the truck. We talked to Dad today about putting the camper out there, and that'll be our home in the camper. And using his house for showers and stuff when we're in town, and sleeping in the camper might be kind of cold in the wintertime, but he has a house that we can go in and get warm. But the big thing is, I've been in the ER this week, and the mass that I have on the ovarian remnant syndrome, if you don't know what that is that I have had my ovaries removed and the ovary grew back. But I've been in pain, and they said that has changed. So that is going to be a factor into all this. I did put that surgery off last year. Last year I felt like God was telling me not to have the surgery because there was nothing wrong with it. But now I know it's because my husband had to have brain surgery. So I guess that's the lesson here, is that we don't know what God's plan is that, hi Bill, hi. Anyway, so that's the plan that he had, was that I didn't have surgery so that my husband could have brain surgery, because there's no way that I could have had that surgery and my husband had brain surgery at the same time. No way. And a lot of people know my husband's never been the best about taking care of me. I've had 3 to 7 surgeries from 2005 to 2016-ish, 2015. I only had one in 2016. Anyway, he wasn't the greatest. I mean, he's awesome, so don't get me wrong. But he just doesn't like men. Sorry, that probably sounds wrong, but they're not caretakers like us women are. We're just really good caretakers. And men, they're hard and strong, and when they have to do that part, it's just harder for them. It's just harder for them. They do things differently, and we do things differently. That's why we are made for each other. Anyway, so I think that this brain surgery was kind of a lesson for both of us, because we had to switch places. And now if I go to have the surgery, which they say it's pretty high risk and stuff, that maybe that's what this is all about. Anyway, so back to all the other good stuff. So pray on all those things for everybody. Oh, I almost forgot. And Adam's dad is still in the hospital. I don't want to go too much into that because his mom is in charge of that. But his dad is still having surgery, or not surgery. Oh my gosh, his dad is still in the hospital. So we need to pray on him, please, because that's very important. Back to the other stuff. I'm sorry, this is probably going to be long because I wanted to make sure I touched a lot of stuff with our family. So I wanted to share this because I shared it in Bible study last night. And it was kind of important, and God laid it on me that I should share it with everybody. So a few weeks before our cousin Joe passed away, everybody knows that my brother-in-law, Troy, did pass away in October of 2014 in the same manner. And I had a dream about him. It was and it's right here, on 8/29 of 17. And in this dream, I'm just gonna read it. I said, another rundown home, and I had these dreams several nights in a row, and I think these had to do with the flooding and stuff. Another rundown home. This house, I've had other dreams, several like this before. It's very familiar. This is a little tunnel. Bailey and I were crawling through it. It goes through a hallway to the kitchen, and as it gets to the kitchen, it narrows, and I tell her to go ahead. I can see the house is like burnt and deteriorated, rotted and corroded. When I tell Bailey I can't go any further. I turn around and tell her to go ahead, and I go the other way. And she crawls through the hole. Bailey's my granddaughter. She's 4. As I crawl to the open to move, it looks like a train subway station, and there's glass windows in like a shopping mall type thing. And in the windows, my sister is standing there, and she says, I need you to come with me, my sister Susie. I need you to come with me. There's something I need to show you. And we walk through a glass window, and we are in like a hospital room with her husband, Troy. She says, I don't know how, but you were with him when he died, and he told me to approach his bed, and she told me to approach his bed. As I walked to his bed, I could see it was him, but he looked in distress, hooked up to machines, and he said, hi, Tammy. And when he said this, like, I couldn't really hear, but it was like he used to say this funny, like, Tammy thing to me when he was drinking. We kind of had a fun, like, he was really fun when he was, drinking. So anyway, and reached out his hand, and I could barely make out his name. He was really quiet most of the time, but he was really silly when he was drinking. So I guess that's where I was going. And he didn't drink that much, like barely ever, occasionally, kind of like what we do, like once or twice a year type things. Like that's basically okay. I could barely make out my name when he said, and I asked him if I could pray with him, and he shrugged and then agreed in a way I know him to do. As I was praying with him, he gave his life to Jesus, and I started crying, and I woke up. Okay, so and then I wrote down a prayer. The reason I'm sharing this is there's a lot of questions with suicide, and where they go and things like that. Well, a couple weeks later, like I said, I had this dream on 8/29. On 9/13, my cousin Joe took his life, and you can see I'm getting red. Take a breath. A couple weeks later, hi Chuck and Bonnie. Hi Nikki. My cousin Joe took his life a couple weeks later, and with the questions that are always there, and I had this dream, I feel that we can always pray for our loved ones, because it doesn't, we don't have those answers, and that's the truth. We don't have the answers. But I do know, because I have these dreams my whole life. I used to get told that these dreams were from the devil, and it wasn't actually until the first time that I was told, actually by a therapist, that she knew that I was having dreams before I even told her, that she was going to pray over me, and she knew I was afraid that what I was having was scaring me, and she told me about it, and I guess she was kind of prophesying over me or whatever, and she prayed over me, and the prayer had to do with let God protect me, and only God pour into me what he wants to hear, what he wants me to hear, and not the devil. And so from that day forward, I just listened to, and I started like writing them down and separating, like if I had watched a movie, like obviously separate, or something happened in my life, separate that and try to separate it. And then so that's kind of where I went. And hi Ryan. So that's kind of what I did. But a lot of times with my dreams, I can dream about an uncle going to the hospital, and it'd be another uncle, that kind of thing. And the reason I'm sharing this is because, like I said before, what we said in Bible study last night, what was said to me in Bible study is, if I never open my mouth and share, then I'm not sharing what Jesus told me to share. So, and there's dreams that I'm not going to share because they're for me. But this one I think was important, because when in this dream God was with my brother-in-law, I think it was also letting me know that he was with my cousin Joe, because there's been a lot of questions on that. Sorry. Ooh. There's been a lot of questions on that, and in our family, My mom came from a Christian family. She was brought up in the church, but my dad's side didn't. And Joe was the first person to bring Jesus into our family. So it was kind of important to know that. So I think I also heard this from a pastor, and I don't, like I said, I'm not a pastor, and so I'm going to say this. I heard from a pastor once, and I don't know this, and so I'm just going to say it, that so, like, take this to your own pastor. That's what I'm going to say. Take this to your own pastor. In these situations, there is a place that they go to be taught because they're still brokenhearted, and they it goes into the what your knowledge is. So I guess, take that with with to your pastor and your teachers, because I don't know the answer to that. So anyway, I haven't seen a lot of my family on there, but I have seen a lot of my friends. Hi, Mike. Okay, so if you are in a place that you feel lonely or you're missing your family or friends, and I didn't even know this is where this was going to go, because I honestly was just like going to say hi everybody and like try to be all cheerful and like whatever. But I don't know. I guess that's where it went today, and I don't know where it's going to go every week, but I want to make sure that everybody sees that there's a family friend out there, that I'm here. And I've been doing our class reunions every year, and I see some class reunion people that have been on and off. I've been doing my class reunions every year for, I don't know, 3 years now. Yeah, but I have them scheduled out for a few more years. And I've been doing those, and I was like, why don't I do that for our family? That seems really weird to me, because we have them scheduled way in advance, and I don't know why I haven't done that for our family. And I actually started thinking about it, and I think the reason is because I don't want to step on feet. That sounds really strange, I guess, but like my dad is the one that always did the family things, and like the uncles, and so I guess in a way maybe us cousins need to like step up the ball game and stop saying, well, Uncle Jimmy should do it, or Uncle Paul should do it, or those kind of things. Anyway, so I guess we need to start doing it, even if it's at Easter Lake, like I do with my class reunion. We can start doing it. Hi, Kirk. Hi, Amber. Okay, and so even if I'm going to go back to this, even if you don't read the Bible or anything like this, I'm going to say the 23rd Psalm is something that we did in our house, and we did in Bible study. I'm just going to read the first couple of lines. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Okay, if you do the whole thing. Thank you, Chuck and Bonnie. This helped us because is some of the things that, and the reason I'm saying this is because the hurt and stuff in our family, some of the things that have been going on in our family, if you would grab this psalm out and just read it and sit on each line. The Lord is my shepherd. Okay, as a shepherd, what is it that he wants you to hear? So sit with it for a minute and think about it. What is it that he wants to hear? And we did it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and when we got up and when we went to bed. I shall not want. What is it that you're wanting? Like, I will tell you, this is what I wanted. Every time I sat down with this, I was waiting on Adam for something. I was like, boy, I sure need him an awful lot. Boy, I sure need him for this. I want him for that. I want him for this. What am I waiting on him for when I actually have, well, I was going to say I have 2 good feet. Well, I can't say that really, can I? But there are things that I was asking him to do that I shouldn't be asking him to do. I could wait till he's up, or I could have asked him to do when he was up the last time, or, it didn't need to be done right now or whatever. So I needed to be better. Hi, Peyton. I could have been better about just holding off on asking for him. So if you go through each one of those lines and do that, I think it's a really good idea to do that. I got that out of a book. I don't have the book right here. A book that I was reading for 88 cents, which was pretty good. But it's God Psychiatry. That's the name of it. But anyway, so, for my friends and family, you have a friend, get a hold of me, get a hold of somebody in the family if you don't want to get a hold of me. And every week, if you have something to pray about, or you want to share with the family, I'm not going to probably do like what I did today every week, because that's, I just felt like that needed to be shared. Our family's really hurting. But I actually wanted to do like a funny skit and all that kind of stuff, but something just said I needed to share this, so that's what I was doing. So I'm sorry that it went this way, but God has plans that I don't plan on doing, so sorry about that. Anyway, I gotta get off here because I look crazy. I'm gonna say a prayer. So everybody that wants to do that with me. Lord, I thank you so much for bringing our family together. We ask that you pray over each and every one of our families, touch every single one of them. We ask again that you break all the boundaries, the chains, and please ask us to forgive one another, love one another, and come into our hearts, Lord Jesus. We pray, amen. Have a good day, everybody.